What up, y'all? Today, we're going to talk about personal brands. Like building your personal brand, establishing your brand, all of that. Brand shit. Don't mind my clothes in the back. I be on the move. I be out here dipping and dodging, ducking and weaving, moving and grooving, shaking and baking. I be on the move. Anyway, talking about personal brand today. Just because I don't think a lot of people really understand the opportunity they have right now. Like, you can literally, with no money down, like with no type of investment, you can literally pull out your phone, start recording, and build a whole business just by doing this, just by talking to a camera. There's other steps you got to do along the way, but you can literally build a audience and followers and people that want to buy from you just by doing this. This is a very unique moment of time. This is a very powerful moment of time if you use it to its advantage. I see a lot of people aren't really understanding the concept of social currency, the power of networking and building relationships and having followers. Like, if I was to ask you right now, would you rather have 1 million people on your email list or $1 million? What would you say? Because if you say $1 million, you don't understand the power of having people who have bought into your brand, bought into who you are as a person, your values, your beliefs, the way you talk, the way you operate. Like, people who have bought into that and are willing to spend money with you, you can literally monetize that as many times as you want. That $1 million, you can spend that once and it's gone. But if you sell to even 1% of that million people, you can make over $1 million easily. So just so y'all can see, 1% of 1 million is 10,000 people. If you can sell 10,000 people a $100 product, you just made $1 million. 1% of that million. You only have to sell to 1% of that million to make $1 million. Like, think about how powerful that is. Think about what you can do with that just by having attention. They say attention is the new currency, and they are absolutely right. Having the attention, having people invested in you is so much more powerful than just having money. Money only spends once. If you have an active audience, if you have active subscribers, active followers, you can monetize that over and over for years down the line in a number of different ways. I cannot stress this enough. Now, more than ever, is the best time to start growing an audience. If you haven't already, if you haven't taken it serious, 2023 is the year you need to put this shit into play. Start growing a platform, start building your brand. You will thank me later. I promise you. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna give you 7 things you can do to help you start establishing your brand and figuring out where you want to take it and what you want to do with it. Monetizing and all the other shit, the business, all that can come later, but having a solid foundation that your brand is built upon is the key to success. It's how you're going to become a 6-figure, 7-figure earner. Having a powerful brand and an audience that resonates with it, that understands and supports it. Like, you can't beat that right now. So I'm gonna give you 7 tips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 tips on 7 things you can do to help establish your brand. All right. First one is most important, is probably like the biggest key. You might have heard it before. You need to figure out your purpose. Figure out the purpose of your brand. What are your values? What are your beliefs? What is at the core of your brand? For me, Unique Marketing is about empowering content creators, because I've seen so many talented, dope individuals with amazing products, amazing ideas, amazing businesses that never get to the point where they see success just because they don't understand how to market and monetize their brand the right way. So for Unique Marketing, our mission is to empower content creators with the tools, the systems, the mindset, everything they need to see success as a content creator, as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner. That's our goal. Those are our values. The why is the core of everything that you do. That's the base for every action, every decision you make. There has to be a why. There has to be a reason. So when you understand why you're building a personal brand, why you even want to build a personal brand, what you're going to stand for, what you believe in, what you want to bring to the world. What legacy do you want to leave? That's really what it boils down to. What do you want to be known for? Once you understand that, building everything on top of that just becomes so much easier. You feel me? So after you define your purpose, you want to set goals. Okay? And these aren't like New Year's goals. Oh, I want to lose weight this year. Oh, I want to start working out. They need to be SMART goals. I know a lot of y'all probably even heard that at school or work or somewhere before. There's a reason why. It's because it's a very powerful tool. Let me try and set this down. There we go. Now we all set. We out here with the yada. Okay, you feel me? I don't know why I was holding it. Y'all see I need a retwist out here, but it's okay. It's okay. Setting goals. You need to set SMART goals. It's easy to say, I want to do something. I want to lose weight. I want to start working out. But it's different when you're saying, I want to lose 20 pounds by the summer so I can fit into this really nice bathing suit that I'm planning on buying. Like, you see the difference it has? There's a why attached to it now. There's a reason for it. There's a timeline. I need to lose this amount by this time. That's how you take just an idea or a dream, something that you want to do, and put action to it. So just to break it down in case you don't know, a SMART goal is specific. You want to have something specific. I want to lose this amount of pounds. I want to get this amount of money. I want to gain this many followers. I want to get this many subscribers. There should be a specific number attached to it, a specific detail, something specific that you can aim for. You feel me? It should be measurable. Put a number on it, something that you can measure so you can have something to track your progress. Make sure, so we got specific, we got measurable, make sure it's attainable, making sure it's realistic. It has to be something that you can actually do. If you're making $0 this year and you say, I want to be making $1 million by the end of the year, I'm not saying you can't, but you have to understand the path you have to take or the steps you have to take to get there. Make sure it's something that you can actually achieve, because if you set a goal that is unattainable, you're just gonna demoralize yourself. You're gonna get into your head. You're gonna lose your drive, lose your ambition, and that just makes it even harder. So making it something realistic is super important. So we got specific, we got measurable, we got attainable. R is for relevant. If your goal isn't relevant, why are you doing it? You can say, I want to get a million friends on MySpace, but at this point in time, is that really relevant? Does that really matter? Like, make sure whatever your goal is moving the needle. It's not just something that's arbitrary just to say, oh, I did it. It has to move the needle. It has to push you forward, push your brand forward, push your business forward some way, somehow. You feel me? Does that make sense? And the last one, put a time on it. You got to put a time limit on that thing. All right? Don't just say, oh, I'm going to do this at some point. Because I don't always remember like the specific theories and things that I'll be like the random shit that I know. I don't always remember it. But there's a rule of life that says a task will take as long as you give it. So however much time you give to make that task happen, if you give yourself a month, if you give yourself a year, if you give yourself 3 weeks, it will take that amount of time because you've already given it that amount of time. So the way to combat that is to put a time on it and make sure it's a time that isn't giving yourself too much time. If you want to say, oh, I want to start a business within the next 5 years, starting a business isn't hard. Starting the social media isn't hard. Like, that's something you can do in the next month, next 2 months, 3 months. Like, give yourself a time that's going to push you out of your comfort zone and push you to hit that next level so that you can reassess your goals and make new goals. That makes sense? All right. So next thing you want to do to help you build your brand is where a lot of people start. That's usually the issue because they don't have any type of foundation going into it. You want to build your identity. This is how you're going to portray yourself, kind of the image you're going to have, whether it's on social media, online, YouTube, whatever you're doing. This is the personality. This is the voice you're going to use. These are the colors, the style, the type of content. Are you flashy? Are you more subtle? Are you more like monotone? Like, this is where you start to identify your brand to make sure you stand out from the rest. It's Coke being red and Pepsi being blue. Making sure people know who you are, what you stand for, what you do, and why you're different from everybody else. Oh, I like their style. I like their color choice. I like the way they, like, those identifiers that are going to make you stand out from the rest of the crowd and the rest of the competition. You feel me? After you figure out your brand identity, next you need to figure out the right platform to be on. Not all platforms are created equal. Not all content on all platforms are created equal. You're not going to enjoy being on every platform. You don't need to be on every platform. I beg you, don't try and be on every platform. Choose one platform that is going to be your main focus, your main hub. That's where the majority of your content comes out. That's where the majority of your audience is, your community. That's where you're really putting that 80% of your time and effort into building. When you try to focus on all these different platforms, trying to maintain the content to keep up with everyone, it just drains you. It pushes you. It makes it too hard to keep up. It's too hard to maintain. It's not worth the stress. When you can focus all your efforts and concentrate them all on one platform, all on one profile, that's when you're really going to start to see that success that you're looking for. You feel me? So choose a platform that you like. Choose a platform where you can create the content that you like to create on it. If you're not a video person, TikTok might not be the best place for you. There are ways to go around it using faceless content, but if you're not a video person, if you know you don't like being on video, if you know you don't have the time to be on video or to do video, and you don't have the money to outsource or make it happen, you should focus on somewhere where you can put all your time and attention to. If you're a writer, build a blog and work and focus on growing your Twitter. That's where writing is prevalent. If you're more of a visual person, if you like doing visual things, maybe Pinterest or Instagram would be better. If you're great at networking, maybe Reddit. Like, there's a number of different platforms, a number of different options. Don't think you just have to be on Instagram or you only have to be on TikTok or Facebook. Be on the one that you enjoy spending time on, that you're going to be able to engage with people, and you're going to be able to create content consistently. You feel me? That makes sense? Next thing you're going to need to do, I think this is number 5. Next thing we need to do is you need to develop a content strategy. Trying to go in and just make content off the top of your head, just trying to make it as you go or on the fly, is the quickest recipe for burnout. You're going to get burnt out. You're going to get tired of trying to keep up with also trying to build your brand and grow your brand. It's not the most efficient. It's not the most effective way. You should have a strategy, should have a plan in place. Figure out your goals for the year. Are you looking to grow your engagement? Are you looking to get more followers? Are you looking to get more buyers? Okay, you know your goals. How are you going to get that? Are you asking people to download a PDF? Are they signing up for a consultation? Are they following you, subscribing to your newsletter? How are you going to get to that goal? What steps are you going to take to reach that goal? Once you understand that, now you figure out, what content do I need to make that's going to help me get to those goals? How am I going to teach people about this so that they're interested in what I do? How am I going to entertain people so that they want to check out my music? Understanding your goals, understanding what you're trying to do and accomplish for the year, for the next 6 months, 3 months, whatever. And then understanding how you're going to get people to do that through your content, through the content you're creating. That's the key. Understanding your goals, creating the content that's going to get you to your goals. Whether it's teaching, entertaining, interactive stuff, like, there's a number of different ways you can do it, but you should have a plan in place of, I'm going to create this content, it's going to provide this value or teach these lessons, and at the end, I'm going to ask people to sign up for my newsletter or DM me for a link to my calendar, or like whatever it is you're doing. You should have a specific idea of what you're doing with your content and how it's going to help your brand grow. That makes sense. People don't just make $1 million by accident. They don't just stumble upon 6 figures a month. You have to put a plan in place. You have to have an idea. You have to have a strategy in place that's going to help you get there. You feel me? After you create a content strategy, you have to start creating hella content. That's the key. Right now, quantity over quality. Don't go for the super produced, super curated look, have to have the lights and everything. I'm in the car on my lunch break shooting this right now because this is the time I have. Like, I don't have any other time. Like, I gotta get in where I fit in. Taking this time on my lunch break to create this content that I know is going to help move the wheel, help move the needle. That's what I have to do. I'm not focused on making sure it looks a certain way. I've done that before. I've tried to make sure it's super curated, get the whole setup and everything with the art and the lights. Fuck all that. We ain't got time for all that. You need to be putting out a lot of content. Not a lot of shitty content, not content that isn't providing value, or isn't helping, or it's just like a repeat of whatever everybody else is doing or saying. Like, put out unique quality content, but put out a lot of it. That's the key right now. And if you don't have time, if you don't have the resources, figure out how you can outsource it. You either have to put in the time or you have to put in the money. Those are the two options. It has to be one or the other. If you don't have the time, you got to be able to invest the money. If you don't have the money, you have to be able to invest the time. Sometimes you got to do both. It sucks, but that's real life. But figure out which one you can do, where you can either spend your money or spend your time, and focus on giving your everything there and making your content strategy work and producing the content that you need. If you can only record, if you only have time to record all this, hire you a video editor, hire you a social media manager to take all your social media content, chop it up, turn it into clips. If you don't have time to post and everything, get you a virtual assistant who can schedule all your content, create your captions. Like, there's so many different ways. If you need help trying to figure out a content strategy for you and how you can create the content that you need to create, shoot me a DM, comment below. I'm always in the DMs checking to see what people are talking about, see what people are saying. If you need help, I'm definitely here. But yeah, create hella content. That's the main key. Put out a lot of quality content. Your face has to stay in front of your audience. If not, they will forget about you. And then finally, the last thing you can do is to really establish and build your brand is build a community. A lot of people make the mistake of posting the content. They'll create all the content. It looks all nice. They got the captions and everything, and they're posting it, but they're not engaging. They're not talking to their audience. They're not responding to comments. They're not responding to DMs. How do you expect to get business if you're not responding to your DMs and your comments? That's where the business comes from, folks. That's how you. I've made so many connections just from talking to people in the comments and be like, hey, yeah, cool if I shoot you a DM. That's how you build a community. That's how you build trust and build a relationship with people. Respond to the comments, respond to the engagement, reach out to people, let people know, hey, this is what I do. I provide these services. If you ever need anything, let me know. Create private Facebook groups, Discords, whatever it is, something to give them exclusivity so that it's not just everybody gets access to you or access to your information. Like, this is private. We got something private going on over here. This the unique marketing area. This the unique verse. We got something private going on over here. We giving out gems. We giving out game. We doing master classes and coaching sessions. Like, make it exclusive. Make people feel like they're a part of something bigger, and that they have somebody to talk to, somebody to ask questions to, somebody they can rely on to give them information. If you can do that, if you can become that charismatic leader that people are looking for, that charismatic guide that helps people solve their problems, your brand will take off to another level like that you've never seen before. But you have to build that community and build that engagement. You feel me? But yeah, I think that's all. Don't sleep on this opportunity, y'all. For real, for real. Even if you don't have anything to monetize, if you don't have a brand or a business or anything that you can monetize yet, use this opportunity. Just set the groundwork and start building your brand. You will never regret having followers or having an audience, having people who are interested to see what you post and have to say. You will never regret it, I promise you. So if you need help, if you need coaching, if you need services, you can reach out to us. We provide marketing services, email marketing, content creation, social media management, as well as an all-in-one marketing platform for content creators and coaches to help them grow their business and master their marketing. If y'all need anything, hit me up. I got you. But that's all I got for today. Shout out to y'all. Hit the follow, hit the like, the normal YouTube shit, all that shit, whatever.